dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight. Oh wait,
It's the wrong
it's the
movie.
wrong bad horror film.
Oh, yeah,
wow, we're
sorry.
talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, produced by the Don't Breathe brothers. I mean, they're not brothers, but they basically are at this point. Hi, this is Philip. This is another episode of Half a Clue Movie Review.
This is Ron.
What's my name?
I forget.
Okay.
I'm Blake.
With three white first names. That's Dave, Blake, Allen. We bring to you another episode. And is it hopefully the episode's good, but is it a good movie? Stay tuned to find out.
We watched this and The Godfather around the same time, and it's honestly hard to choose which one would go down in the Hall of Fame of movies.
Yeah, they're both groundbreaking.
Watching them side by side, it's just you really see the inspiration that David Blue Garcia took from Francis Ford Coppola. You know what I mean?
If I were to be completely honest, I mean, amongst the three big releases that came out of movies that came out this weekend, Uncharted, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this is a little spoiler for the Uncharted review, and Dog. Little did I expect that Dog was my favorite of the three.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Really? It's like, okay, well, let's just get into this one.
All right, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, directed by David Blue Garcia after the original directors were fired. Because they had a vision. Produced by Fede Alvarez and Rodo Sayaguez. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. From Don't Breathe fame. He also wrote the screenplay with Chris Thomas Devlin, who never wrote a major motion screenplay before. You could tell. And
I think it's a better screenplay than fucking Halloween Kills, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it is.
they're both bad on different terms, but it came out on Netflix. It was supposed to be in theaters, but I think the producers, the people that basically financing the film, smelled the shit on the wall. And they were like, Netflix, we'll sell you guys for like 30% above our budget, or 40%, I think.
Damn.
And then Netflix was like, cool. They didn't even see the film. We'll buy it because people will see it whether it's shit or not. Good for Netflix. Good for the financiers. Bad for the audience.
Honestly, I was surprised to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, or at least two of them, or now three of them, were even on Netflix. I was like, when did that happen? I was like, that doesn't feel like, for some reason, it doesn't feel right on Netflix, but whatever.
Which ones are on the which ones are on Netflix?
The 2003 remake,
and it's Texas Chainsaw at the beginning, right?
And then the beginning.
And the
those
new
two.
one,
is it Leatherface is on there too?
I would guess Leatherface is on.
Oh,
there.
maybe.
I'm not sure. I think Leatherface might be on there. So that's 4. So they're just like, let's just collect all of the worst ones right here.
And is this now the big question is this the worst of the rebootquels or reboots or rebanks?
Can I give my answer right now?
Yeah, just give it right now.
Yes, it is. The worst.
I think it is. I think it might be the worst one.
Full disclosure, of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, I've only seen the original one. I've seen the remake one with Jessica Biel, the beginning, and now this one. So I didn't see Leatherface or the 3D one or whatever. Because honestly,
the 3D one makes Leatherface into an anti-hero.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys didn't know that? Okay, you know what? Let's go into the franchise history bit, and then I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Here are the installments. There's the first 4 of the original kind, spearheaded by Tobe Hooper and Kim Heinkel. I think the Heinkel, of the Heinkel family, they're producers on this one. So I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Or maybe they're just name only. I'm guessing.
What was that laugh, Ron?
So the first 4 were the one, my favorite one of the franchise that I love, and I'm pretty sure all of us do too, the Texas Chainsaw, and it's Chain Space Saw for some reason, the first one, Massacre in 1974. Then the other ones are Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. That's certainly the names get kooky. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 4th generation, which ends the franchise supposedly, all multi-million dollar franchises.
The next generation,
yeah. And after that, they remade it in 2003, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre starring Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
And that one, had a whole storyline with the baby and everything. And
that one, I think, honestly, it's
better
not,
than this.
It's not as bad in retrospect. Revisiting it, because that was the first one I ever saw. And then I watched the original, and I was like, I don't know if I connect with this one as much. And then I rewatched the original one later, and I was like, no, this one it's really good for so many reasons. It appreciates over time. And then even like the 2003 remake, I was like, okay, it got better in retrospect. There's a lot of stuff that, to its credit,
is the best one of the post Tobe Hooper period.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
had the original DP from the original that came back for it. So again, that shows because it looks pretty good.
That one at least felt like it has some level of respect.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't think it's good, but it has some level of respect.
It has plenty of issues.
Yeah, and then the box office success. It was the highest grossing fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. So they were like, okay, how do we improve and build on the success? They made a prequel to the remake, which is stupid, and that failed and made half of it. It still made money because these films are made on pennies. And they're like, wow, that didn't work. So what we'll do? The 3D crazes. Remember the time of the 3D craze?
Piranha 3D.
Piranha 3D, or
Saw
like
3D.
Valentine 3D. That movie with the axe guy. And
Saw
stuff.
3D is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. That's the one with like, it starts off with like the two
Chester
lovers,
Bennington
right?
gets like thrown out of a car. And
Yeah.
gets glued to
But
Yeah.
that's the one with the two. It starts with the two lovers, right?
Yeah,
the
chainsaw.
They're like, wait,
I don't
you're
think that's
cheating?
the opening scene, but
Oh, but it's one of
yes,
the.
It's one of the
films,
first
yeah.
ones.
And they're like, no, let's just let her die. I was like, whatever. Okay, we might have a Saw episode naming of the Saw film.
At least it's fun, I'll say.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, honestly, it's terrible. It's worse than the remake, but it is like laughably bad because they make Leatherface into a superhero. Like he's actually like you find out that Alexander Daddario, but pre True Detective, was like, oh my gosh, like we're related, and you know what? Why don't we team up to kill like evil people? And Leatherface kills like bad people.
He's
What?
Like,
Yeah,
turned
yeah.
into like Dexter.
What?
Yeah. They're pretty much he's Dexter, but with
This
a human
man
skin face.
wears people's faces over his face. He literally skins people alive.
Yeah, I'm serious. That's what happens.
Oh,
And then Alexander Daddario's like, yeah, we'll team up. And then like, I think he kills like her adopted parents because they're greedy.
yikes.
It's ridiculous. It was funny at least.
And we have the
Leatherface.
Leatherface prequel.
Which is a prequel to the 1974, but also made by the same people who did the 3D one, kind of. Or like the same like financiers. And this is a film that caused Lionsgate and Millennium Films to lose the rights. And then Legendary bought it for better or worse.
It's the thing is like I usually like Legendary. I feel like
Well, they're a production
Usually.
company for the most part. Yeah.
In terms of like sometimes they can be pretty good. They can like surprise you. That's too bad.
Yeah. And now we have this film. So you know what? Before we get into this, what is everybody's history with Texas Chainsaw Massacre? For me, I've watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Like I've seen some of these like bits and butt on TV. And then for this episode, I was like reviewing all of them. But I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre recently. I think it was
Which
like
one? There's like
the first one. No, the original. The original
There's
Chainsaw
like
Massacre,
three titled the
1974.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
1974 one. I think it was like last like October or something in 2020 October.
Okay.
Because it was put on Criterion.
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
It was or the Criterion channel, I should
Yeah.
say.
and I was like, okay, yeah, this is dope. I like this quite a bit. I mean, I have minor issues with sound design, but other than that, I fucking love the film. Yeah.
It's hard to even complain about like issues like that when
It's so cheap.
they made it for like insanely cheap. Just had one wardrobe pretty
Yeah.
much for all the characters. You know how hard it is to do that with the movie? Just like have everyone just wearing the same clothes for like weeks. Like that's terrible. I think they shot it over like I think it was only like maybe 2 weeks or something.
Yeah,
too.
it was real short. And then there's a whole
insane.
thing with the financiers and they got fucked over, but
yeah. No, and I already mentioned I guess my familiarity with the franchise. Just
Yeah.
like 3 now, including 4 with the new one. But yeah,
I've only ever actually seen the original one, and now this one, I guess. Full disclosure, I'm not like a huge fan of the original. I will say this. I do think it's like, even by today's standards, like incredibly creepy and like grotesquely violent and like disturbing.
it's like off-putting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even by today's standards, it's kind of a hard movie to watch in certain scenes.
Yeah.
like just like the shot with the real close-up shot of the eyeball.
Yes.
And as I was going in, I'm like, wow, like there was some art house shit in this
Yeah,
like
for
cheap horror
sure.
film
Yeah,
that
like,
I love.
Just the editing alone, I think, is what really elevates the original one, where it's just like how it fades in and out, the frantic, like kind of just like random editing. It just keeps you guessing. Like you never really know exactly.
It feels like
pacing
it
of this
feels
film.
intentionally like really gross while you're watching it.
Yeah.
Like it's like a movie
It's
that
icky. It looks icky too.
it's a movie. Yeah, it looks very icky. It's a movie that makes you want to take a shower.
Yeah.
So I've only ever seen the original, and I'm not like the biggest fan, but I get why a lot of people really like it, and I do think that they definitely accomplished what they were trying to make.
Yeah.
One thing I will say though, and I haven't watched any of the other movies, so I might be behind on their lore. I don't get why Leatherface is always so focused in on when he's, to me, always kind of feels like a smaller part of a bigger thing. Like my favorite part of the fucking first movie is like
the family, the Sawyer family.
It's but specifically like the cook guy. That's
Yeah.
like he's like laughing maniacally, like ha, 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 you boys don't know what you're doing.
He's like poking the lady with the broomstick.
Yeah.
He's just yeah.
Like Leatherface is kind of just a part of that, and ever since that first movie, it seems to me that he's all they ever focused on.
No, that's fair because I think when done right, like that's one of the things I like about the remake, in the 2003 one, is that he's part of it, of course. He really just comes in to punch that like insane, like the visceral danger of it. But what keeps the film, at least the first ones, more grounded, or at least like make it feel more realistic, is the family.
Yeah.
The extension of these people, like it's the cop played by, I forget his name, but he's from Full Metal Jacket. He plays the drill sergeant and stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. Talking about Robert E. Line or something.
Yeah.
Lee or I forgot.
Yeah, something Lee. And he plays the sheriff in the 2001, and he steals the show for me. He shows up and he's just like this just effortlessly like gross, repugnant person who you just don't understand exactly what the hell his deal is until you find out he's basically the head of this like really fucked up the Hewitt family, because they changed that for whatever reason. I don't know why they changed it from Sawyer to Hewitt, but they do. And he definitely steals the show. And then when Leatherface does show up, it's just like these like, oh shit, like it makes it that much more intense because you're already kind of surrounded and like immersed around this like these weirdos, these weird groups of people, and then Leatherface shows up and it makes it feel less fucked up,
but like
still more fucked. I don't know.
Like my problem, or not my problem, but I don't know. I guess just my confusion though is a lot of these movies, or seem to at the least, and definitely the new one,
Yeah.
just feel like all anybody ever talks about is Leatherface.
Yeah.
Like especially in the new one where they do like the whole Laurie Strode thing. She's like, I'm hunting him down. It's like, well, what about like
The family members.
Yeah,
that
what
are
about like
murdered.
everyone fucking else that was there?
Yeah, that was the biggest. Yeah, that was exactly like that was such a weird thing that they focus on in this one, where she's like, yeah, like what happened to the dude? Like
Because
the
I'll
other,
also
the weird
say,
hitchhiker guy.
because I just know in my heart we're going to be making a lot of Halloween comparisons.
Yeah,
Leatherface isn't really Michael Myers. He feels way more human, at least
Yeah.
in the OG one.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking crazy person that's wearing a skin face and has a chainsaw. And it's not even him that's the danger. It's the fact that like you
The
can't-
family, like no matter where you go,
no
you
matter
can't
where you
escape.
go. Like if in the first one she like tries to run away and goes to the gas station or whatever. Like if that guy was just a normal guy, like the movie could have ended there.
Yeah.
And Leatherface wouldn't have been able to do anything. And also in the original, like it really does feel like if someone just had a gun, like this thing wouldn't be that big of a deal.
yeah,
And then I feel like in the new one, they straight up make
He's
him
Michael Myers.
Yeah, they make him Michael Myers.
yeah. Someone has a gun, and they don't use it. And then, I mean, that becomes a big point of contention in this film. This one, the
Yeah.
new one, where it's like, for some
Gun
reason,
violence is a part of the
yeah, gun
equation.
violence is a thing here. And look, I don't know, gun violence was never really a topic or like any kind of issue in the original one.
You know why they did that? Because
Why?
when they're writing the script, they're like, well, we have to do something.
Oh, you need to make it relevant, politically
Oh,
engaging
we have to do
for the
something.
modern
Yeah.
audiences. And I bet you that, like, you know, as much as we hate it and critically deride it and people hate it,
Yeah.
that like viewing numbers wise, because of this like stupid controversial topics, that people
Yeah.
will watch it.
I'm sure because okay, look, it's like there's a weird thing where like they try to touch on social issues in this one, where they're basically talking about gentrification. You know, basically like millennials. It's like whoever made this movie really fucking hates millennials.
Yeah.
He was like-
Or, you know, it's funny.
What?
I was thinking it's either that or they really were just reaching to have some kind of content in their movie. 'Cause I didn't get that they hate millennials. I get that they're like, what the fuck are we going to do?
But you mean
Write a screenplay.
you
Make some shit up. I don't know. Because, yeah, they do tackle gentrification, but not really.
No, they don't.
Like,
no.
they kicked the
Touch
lady
on
out
it.
of her house and then she dies.
Yeah.
But you don't think that they hate millennials when the Asian guy was like, "You're gonna get canceled, bro," and then he had the chainsaw and he like they linger on the shot of his body getting chainsaw for like a full 20
that was
seconds.
really the part where I was like, wow, they really have nothing to say here. Like they're literally just
and then there's like a comment that says like, that looks fake as fuck.
yeah, exactly. They're just like, oh look, rather than actually address the danger in front of them, they're just streaming
Anyways,
it.
before we get into the movie, I'll just wrap up that my history is I've seen the original and now I've seen this one.
Wait, you already said that.
I'll just wrap
That's a
it up.
recap. Yeah.
Okay, well, the way my mind works, I got to recap what I was saying.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like again, the idea like okay, so with the original one, there was that like
Creepy vibe.
that sense
Creepy.
of nihilism that kind of pervades the entire story. Like leading up to it, it's like they're talking like the Vietnam War is happening. There's like this seems like capitalism is failing.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch. These people are kind of left in the wake of this town that used to be like a slaughterhouse town or whatever, and like that's kind of like dying out. So like the locals are just weird and just like off-putting, and like there's some sense of like decay and like overall like dread throughout the town. And in this one, it's like they're trying to kind of go for that kind of like commentary in a sense, but now it's like
It's over the top.
it's over the top.
Oh no, it's just abandoned. Like halfway, like not even halfway
Yeah.
through. Like 20 minutes in, once Leatherface puts on Ginny's face,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah, it's just like also it felt so hollow. It felt so like there's nothing. What are you trying to say about this? Are you trying to say gentrification is bad?
And Leatherface is a key and savior.
Yeah, like is he
to
exactly?
the whole town?
Is he like is he some kind of Texan hero now who's like chopping up all the millennials? Like what's going on?
But the movie also kind of contradicts itself because then like Richard is kind of like seeming like the Texan voice, but then he dies like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like and then there's that dumb plot. Okay, that part that was annoying the crap out of me was when he's fighting Leatherface inside the bedroom while the girl is like hiding underneath the bed, and he has the gun, but Leatherface gets a drop on him, kind of, even though he sees he's there, but like he still fucks him up, and then he drops the gun, and it's like rather than the girl under the bed reaching for the gun or just acknowledging the gun's existence, maybe it's too
Just
far
look
out of
at it
reach
or something.
the gun just evaporates.
Yeah.
It is gone. It slipped through the space-time
To
continuum.
be fair,
lost...
he does try to throw him out the window. It's just the window had bars on it.
No,
he didn't.
yeah.
make a
No,
move.
but it's talking about.
but I
it's
know
talking
what
about
he's
the
saying. I know what
Mel
he's
about
saying, yeah.
grabbing the gun.
The girl, she does nothing to help in the situation, and then she just kind of grabs the keys and tries to sneak her way out in a really weird way too. She like tries to like slide down the side of the stairs. I was like, what is happening?
But to be fair, the way they characterize or superpowered fucking Leatherface in this one, the gun would have like done nothing.
Yeah,
he got shot how many
it's-
times? And
It's really dumb.
It's so dumb because again, like as part of the original one, what makes it again so terrifying is that it is just a dude. It's very much a guy, and what makes it feel so random is again is like part of the editing and everything. But when he shows up, there's no like real. There's barely even any rhythm to it.
Yeah.
It's just like they're walking around.
just-
Oh shit! And he just pops out, and it's just like boom, takes you. It feels random. No music, nothing. He just drags them off, and then that's it. They're gone, and that's it. And it's like with this one, it's like he
he's
shows
essentially
up.
like their muscle or assassin. Like
Yeah.
he comes
Yeah.
in to cover the loose ends. But
Yeah.
And here he's a demonic.
Yeah, and in here
superhero.
there's no like
Yeah.
family element either. It's just him.
The chainsaw is like a
Um,
freaking lightsaber. Like it just
yeah.
cuts through every piece of
also,
anything.
I'll ask you, Philip, since you've watched all of them. The woman, is she like from another movie or something?
I don't
Because okay, I think we're just gonna say. I'm just gonna say it now. They went the Halloween route, right? This time with the whole like they kind of did the Laurie Strode thing, but without any effort.
Yeah.
Not that I really care about that movie either, but they do that. Is only the original canon or the
they're saying only the original is canon.
Okay.
But apparently after backlash from the fans, they backtracked and say, "Oh, it might have could have happened, and he could have hid away." But no, I don't think Ginny. She's not, because her last name is also McCumber, so she's
I was
not a
wondering-
Sawyer.
Because I was wondering if like maybe, but like I was also wondering if maybe she was a character in a
No.
previous one. Okay.
Well, at least from what
Well,
they tell here, she's not.
I mean, she's a survivor from she's the last girl from the original one, right?
No,
That's
no.
who she's supposed
No,
to be.
no,
We're
not
talking
her.
about the one
The-
Ginny,
like the
the one that
mom.
he rips her face off and wears.
Oh, that lady. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
No,
she's
she's
just
not.
out of nowhere.
I thought
Yeah.
like maybe she was in another movie or something. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
because-
I
Again,
saw
in the-
Fede Alvarez's weird explanation for this. He's like, oh, after the events, he might have went to like some mental hospital or some place and might have met someone named Ginny or something. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought his whole thing was about family. Like he's like their like kind of mentally disturbed big hulking child that they don't let go.
Yeah. They just kind of they just let him loose on people and he just carves them up and that's pretty much it.
yeah.
No, with the 2003 remake, that one they try to like basically have more of like this structure around it. There's like there's more family members. There's like 3 or 4 women who are part of the group. There's like the brother and like whatever, and they're all trying to be like part of this weird effed up family. Like it's more about like this like almost like the small town is become like evil macabre monsters. But yeah, in the original one it's not really that. It's just kind of these 3 dudes who are just completely wacko. I don't know. So that decision to make to go back to like an orphanage and everything. It's like, oh, he was adopted, or at least he was. I don't know. It's mind-boggling.
For me,
Yeah.
Leatherface, he's nothing without the Sawyers.
Yeah.
That's like saying like
yeah.
it's like that's what makes me. It's like what's it called Freddy without Elm Street. Or like if like Freddy's in New York killing people or whatever,
Yeah.
or if it's like Scream without the teenagers, like and the whole whodunit mystery,
Yeah.
or Jason Voorhees without his mom, like it's essential.
It goes even further to me than that, though, that the fact that he's kind of like the mascot of this franchise, but I don't know. Like I said, to me, he really just feels like a smaller part of a bigger thing.
It's kind of
It's
like
like-
he's a Boba Fett of
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
yeah. It's like he looks cool. People latched onto him because he looks cool, and he does have a very iconic scene at the end of the first film where he's just like a longer take, which I did like of him just like riding around with his chainsaw and just throwing up in the air in frustration.
Yeah.
So people latched onto that, and they decided to make 20 more fucking films. I don't know. It's weird. Ellie, let's talk about at least Sally Hardesty and stuff. What do you guys think about how they approach that character? Like, honestly, do you think felt that was justice at all? Or
No, I felt like it was the laziest thing they could have done with her. Really, they just copied and
Stroded her.
pasted. Yeah, Laurie Strode from Halloween. Difference is that Laurie Strode was like always like an entity in the Halloween franchise, and we even complained about it when that movie came out. Or like at least we talked about it in Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Where it's like they tried to like attach this history or legacy to the character while disregarding all of the sequels. So then it kind of just feels weird. This one feels even weirder. Like
Yeah.
it feels even less off. Like
it's not
she's-
even the original actress because she died.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like, also just they have like one scene of her like in her slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I guess that must be Leatherface.
Yeah.
And she gets into her car, drives up, and is like, hey, I'm mad at you, but not the rest of your terrible family. And then dies.
Yeah, she just like she traps the 2 girls in the car. She's like, sorry, he's after you. So it can't. No, man. Leatherface has never shown anything quite like cunning like that. or
No, he's
anything.
just like a killing
crazy
machine,
person.
just killing whatever's in his path.
Exactly. He's like, oh, hey, look, people. Chainsaw. Like, that's it. Or meat cleaver or whatever. Which, by the way, I like how they took the idea from like the original, that meat cleaver thing or that hammer.
Yeah.
When he just like crashes the dude in the head once, just smacks him, and then he's like seizing on the floor. And that's like terrifying. And then just drags him off. And in this one, they have to show him
Like, destroy the
crushing
head.
the
Everything.
head into a pulp. And it's like again and again. And it's like, this feels excessive for this guy. Like I was watching with Rosie, and he was like, he's never gonna get a face off of that now. Yeah, that's it. He's messed up the face. You can't get to do that.
There's nothing. That's his whole thing. Like he gets people's faces. But,
Yeah,
it's I don't know. It's weird. It definitely feels. I feel Fede Alvarez and the Don't Breathe is like their fingers. I feel the fingers off it. Like because
Yeah.
it also looks like some of their old stuff. Like do you think what's it called? Yeah, this overemphasis on gore and stuff like that. I guess we'll transition into their tackling on violence.
yeah,
Which is also to our main character, played by Elsie Fisher of 8th Grade fame. She was much better in that one, so I don't blame her for this. She plays Lila, the sister.
Oh, is that the 8th grade girl?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
We have to talk
poor,
about it sometime.
poor Elsie Fisher. Maybe we could pair that with Bo Burnham's Inside.
I thought you were gonna say Boba Fett. I was like, where did that?
Oh, you know what? Bo Burnham playing a younger Boba Fett. I love that. Okay, so back to this. See, we just like to talk about better movies than this. She plays Melody's sister. She's a survivor of a school shooting, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they try to touch on it. She has some trauma. And
I
stuff.
should say that I actually wrote this down on a note. It's kind of a newer, maybe not newer, but it's a trope that they're doing a lot, and especially horror now. The whole my weakness is my strength. They did it in A Quiet Place. They did it in like the new Predator movie. They've done it a lot in horror.
Oh,
recently.
Scream recently too.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that she's like what's it called? Like she's like unstable or she might be crazy. By the
Yeah.
end, she literally goes crazy to kill the killers.
But like
Yeah.
that's been kind of a really like it's been a really recurring trope in like horror recently, I've noticed. And I'll say, I mean, I liked it in A Quiet Place a lot. I thought it worked
Yeah.
then, but I've just like since then I've seen it like fucking 5 times a year.
yeah.
And it is a good trope, but that's what I think, in my opinion, that's what they were going for there.
It's just completely like
Dead at this point.
dead. Yeah, it's like it's been overused, but also it's just so uninspired and so unused. And I don't know, it's like watching 2 other films this year about like gun violence and like mass shootings. Like first of all, what is it?
Mass and Fallout.
Yeah, Mass and The Fallout. 2 very
You
good
know-
films that deal with those issues very well. And to be fair, I'm not going into Texas Chainsaw Massacre expecting them to be like, to have some kind of insightful view on like gun violence or anything like that.
You know, this
but,
movie
like,
had a lot in common with Mass.
yeah. But it's just like why even bring that up? Why even like
Because
have
they
it
had to
in
do
there?
something.
Yeah,
Because they
it really
because
felt-
they needed to do.
They're like we can't
something.
do anything with what's it called, Sally, right, this the survivor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
first
she's
one.
a
Why not?
survivor.
I don't know, I'm just saying, like
No,
they,
it really-
were,
it
they were
really-
undevoted to that. They didn't even try.
It
really.
almost feels like this. It's like I'm pretty sure it's not the case. 'Cause I think now I've realized Fede Alvarez. He's a better visual director, but he's a terrible screenwriter, along with his buddy Roto.
Sorry, Fetty.
Yeah, how's this called? And I don't think he does nuance well at all. As with Don't Breathe 2, remember that, making the rapist a superhero.
Yeah.
So, like it really feels like they took elements, as you're saying, the weakness, is your strength trope, along with certain elements of other films, like the Laurie Strode character from Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah, the generational trauma, but just like a snippet of it as like
Yeah.
face value, and then they add what's controversial, what's trending, or what will probably get us tickets.
Yeah, they're like streamers, gentrifying people, millennials, fucking I don't know. They're just yeah.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
I want to talk about something that we probably weren't going to talk about, but I want to.
What?
Was anybody else like really disappointed they killed off the character of Richter like super early on?
Yeah.
No.
'Cause they spend a decent amount of time. Because from that first scene where he pulls up and he's got a gun and the girl's like, "Oh, I was in a mass shooting," I instantly was like, okay, so this guy's gonna have the heart of gold, right? Like you can already
He's
tell
gonna do something,
but
surely.
yes. And then obviously he's bonding with the girl. He like gives her a cigarette, and it's like, oh, so he is gonna be like he's kind of an asshole, but he cares. And I was like, oh, I bet you he's gonna be like in the whole movie, and he might sacrifice himself at the end to save one of the girls or something. And then he dies like 30 minutes into the fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why spend? He got more fucking setup than the goddamn original girl did.
Yeah. No,
Why?
I have no idea.
I didn't
Why?
expect that to happen. Because that's in a better film.
yeah.
And that's not, and because Fede Alvarez.
In the terms of screenplay economy, they invested a lot into him for him to do nothing.
Yeah.
It's for him.
You're not making fucking Psycho here.
Let me get into Fede Alvarez's mindset. It's because we want to feel something when he dies. That's not how he sounds, but that's how I imagine how he sounds after every fucking screenplay he writes.
It's pretty bad. But I
Do you
think
guys not agree with that point though?
No,
it is.
definitely.
It's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I just didn't bring it up because it's
Don't care.
painful.
It's like, again, with the Sally thing, the difference in like from Halloween, the new one, is that they emphasize how much this has really destroyed her life.
Yeah.
And not only her life, but the life of her daughter
Yeah.
and the life of even her granddaughters affected by this.
The echoes of generational trauma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
infecting all aspects of her life.
Yeah, and then they overdo it in Halloween Kills, but like at least they tried to do something.
Hot take.
there.
I like this more than Halloween Kills. At least
no.
there's like a plot, kind of.
I also think Halloween Kills that I don't know, because at least Halloween Kills, like, it's somewhat filmed better.
It's in the very least, at least more in line with the spirit of the original Halloween. Not saying much, because again, the original Halloween, the basic concept is basic as hell.
Yeah.
It's just a guy going around
with no
killing
motive.
a bunch of people. Yeah, for no motive. That is very easy to do.
Yes,
so
they try to
essentially-
channel that in Halloween Kills, where it's
Yeah.
like he doesn't give a fuck about you, Laurie. The only reason he tried to kill you is because of this overcomplicated plot that I'm not going to talk about right now. But
Yeah.
And also,
I don't know. I like, at least this had kind of a plot. Halloween. I was so miserable watching Halloween Kills, where it's like fucking 30 minutes of story wrapped into a full movie. And I'm not saying this is any better, like, but
This
it's
has
at
a
least
plot?
got it. Kind of does.
no, it
It's
doesn't.
got a terrible one.
This
but
one's
it's,
like, this one's it. Ginny got kicked out. Leatherface gets pissed and kills a bunch of millennials.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really
I
it.
think, honestly, I feel like this film, someone showed.
hey,
like,
leather fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like someone showed like Fetty and Roto like a screenshot of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the title, and they're like, okay, yeah, well, we can make a movie about that. Like, they're like, yeah, we could do that. Okay, so like basically they go to Texas, and this dude just shows up, and then we have to have a massacre. And I will say, this film is one of the first that it really feels like a massacre.
Yeah.
Because the first one, he's kind of just picking them off like one at a time. I mean, he kills like what, like 5 teenagers.
Yeah.
But in this one, he just chainsaws his way through an entire bus of people where not one person tried to
Fought
defend
back.
themselves or fight back. You outnumber him like 15
Yeah.
20 to
You
1.
can make it work.
Yeah. Some of you jump on him. Some try to hold him. Even Halloween Kills had that, where they
Yeah.
were like trying to hold him back in a certain sense. They were like, okay, we're all going to fight this guy. And it was stupid because it's Michael Myers, but like it's in this one, it's like, I don't know, throw yourselves at him, try to grab him, something. I don't know. It was terrible. Like there's just
You mean there's more logical holes in this?
there's
wow.
it's like there's zero sense of tension. Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Like the closest it got to tension was
when
like,
Mel was hiding or anything.
no, not even then. I think the best
The
scene in the
van
movie.
scene.
Yes, the van.
That was
where-
actually
really?
really.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of well done, actually.
that was my favorite part of
Yeah.
the movie. It just that was it though. Like just the visuals of like the dead sunflowers around them.
Oh, wait,
whatever.
you're talking. Oh, wait, are you talking about the girlfriend, right? Dante's girlfriend.
Yes.
As I present- okay,
and the
yes, I
camera's
agree.
like going in
I
and out
agree.
of like the van and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like again extremely predictable. You knew exactly what was gonna happen.
But it was still kind of well done.
Yeah, but it was pretty much done well. Again, not really in line with the spirit of the first one, because the first one there's no real moment like that where you don't really know what's gonna happen. Like you don't feel like, oh, he's gonna come around that corner, it's gonna jump out at you. It's like you're just there, and then he just pops out, and it's just like, oh shit, it's madness, and it makes it feel that much more visceral and real. In this one, no, he's just like, I don't know, he's like he's stalking them and whatever, and it's like that's not really his style. He has a damn chainsaw, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Like that's
How
like,
can he sneak around with the chainsaw?
yeah,
Um,
it's silly. It's just silly.
No, it is bad. It's ridiculous of what they try to do with that character. It's like, so let's get this thing of how they made Leatherface unscary, unterrifying,
Yeah,
lame.
This
He's
mask
also
looked dumb, this movie.
he also looks like a chump.
yeah,
Like against two little scrawny girls, he couldn't like chainsaw them in half.
yeah,
Like in an instant. Like in the first film, like all these grown ass people, he like, took them out like easy peasy lemon squeezy.
yeah. Like effortlessly, except for the last girl, but it's because she jumps out of a second story window and then jumps out through another window, and she's really just running the whole
Yeah.
time. She has no chance to really fight back. She's just running.
Right.
And that's what makes it tense, is like you're just like, oh my god, this lady's
The
getting
whole thing is
chased.
it's like
Yeah.
and she has no tools to defend herself. She has
Yeah.
nothing, right?
Yeah.
So with her, it's like the tension is if she gets caught, it's an instant death.
Yeah.
So will she or will she not?
Because the way that they killed everyone else was boom, instant, like just immediately cleaver to the head, chainsaw to the gut, get hooked in the back, like, whatever, like they just immediately get killed. With these people, it's like prolonged. There are way too many guns, and I get it, it's Texas, so like these
Yeah.
people are gonna be armed, and that's fine. But it's like, I don't know, I just feel like I feel like a lot of these ones have been made, have been set into the 70s for a good reason. There's a lot to like say about like the 70s aesthetic, like the whole hitchhiker. Like, it
Yeah.
makes more sense. No one's really gonna pick up a hitchhiker nowadays. It's like, why aren't you Ubering? But like now, it's like it made more sense back then. People were kind of more trusting, but there was like that distrust, like distance from like what was happening in society. So it made for like a compelling time to do it. To set it nowadays, it just to today, it just feels so wrong. It
You
just
guys
doesn't-
care so much more about this franchise than I do.
Why are you in the? I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I don't know, because I do want a good one. But to be fair, I think at this point it's dead. I mean,
Like,
you know what? It's not
no.
dead in the water because Netflix will make more.
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah, and
They set up a sequel.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
Oh yeah,
just-
he has his like kind of end of Nightmare on Elm Street 1 moment where he appears again,
Yeah.
cuts
Yeah.
off her fucking head.
yeah. It's
Oh
like,
wow. Yeah.
if you
I
guys
forgot
want to
about
see
that.
a film that tackles what's it called, topical issues better, such specifically gentrification, just watch Candyman. You know what I mean? That's like it actually has a narrative reason they put it throughout. And this one is just like gentrification, bad, kill the people who regard the gentrification, forget what it is. And now we're on to millennials. Millennials suck. And after we kill millennials, Tesla.
Again, it would have been way more effective if they were like literally squeezing people out of that town or something. But even then, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why are they just pushing out this one old lady who lives in an abandoned orphanage? Like, you're literally taking up an entire small town. You can't just work around her. I don't know. Have her incorporated
She had
into it
the
somehow.
flag.
Oh,
They
she
want
did.
to own the whole town. And she had the
Yeah.
deed too. So
Uh,
and now what's it called? All right, let's go to the ending. Let's wrap this up to end our misery.
yeah.
And the listeners' misery. I'm just kidding. Who knows? Maybe you guys enjoy listening to this. What do you guys think about the ending? Yeah, the whole like auto drive Tesla scene, and
That was hilarious.
and because they're trying to mimic the end of the original chainsaw.
Yeah, for
She's
real.
trying. But you don't. I mean, because he fucking threw the chainsaw before. I was thinking that he was just gonna throw the chainsaw again at Lila's head.
Yeah.
But whatever.
The Tesla was slowly
They go
moving
away.
away. Like he couldn't chase
And
her
also, that's
down.
not how auto drive works in Tesla, by the way. Your hand still has to be on the wheel. But what I mean, honestly, logic. I shouldn't complain about logic in this film. And the post-credit scene.
Oh, there's a post-credit scene.
I didn't even.
Oh, you
know
guys
there
didn't know
was.
this?
Oh my
No.
god!
You guys didn't do your due diligence and watch the post-credit scene.
I did.
How
How was
you
I
guys
supposed
not
to know?
What was it?
Okay, it's so stupid. He walks back to the original farm,
Oh.
and apparently they're suggesting that it's gonna sequels. I mean, the original farm. Maybe there's other Sawyer family reunion or something.
What I like about the original, the way that like the setting is set, it's like it's not a farm, it's not like some big manor or anything.
Just like
it's
a house.
It's just a house.
This is a house.
Just
like
off
a
the
creepy
road.
house.
Yeah, it's just some random house just off the road that you've driven past like a million times before and never gave two cents or a second thought before. And it's like inside of that house is like unspeakable horror.
Mhm.
And that's so much more interesting to me than like some kind of like dun dun dun. Like
Exactly.
it's a big scary farm.
Because the horror is that it's an everyday horror where it could be
Yeah.
in any other thing, and that idea is pervasive to us. Where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so is our neighbor now like a secret cannibal?
Yeah, because again, that's what's terrifying. Going back to its original inspiration, which was the real killer Ed Gein, who lived in this small town up in Wisconsin, I want to say, or Michigan. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but like he lived in some.
Ron's
small...
talking about serial killers. What a surprise!
Yeah, we're talking about.
I know, I
Yeah.
know.
Dude,
So-
Ron has been itching like for Mindhunter season 3 to come out. So
Oh, so bad, dude.
Ron just like, but
Oh, but let's you can
Okay,
finish it.
okay.
Yeah.
But yes, the point is that horror was insane because it was a small town that got completely rocked and turned upside down by what was going on in this like small little house that no one knew, no one could have possibly expected or imagined. They just showed up and they're just like, holy shit. The walls, the whatever, like the couch, the fucking belts and the lamps are made of human flesh. Like that's completely horrifying. And that's one of the original one really captured that, where it's like they're using human body parts to create stuff, and yes, that's terrifying, but the fact that it's just like some random little house that you just you wouldn't think would possibly harbor such horrors. But yeah, no, this one it's just like some small unused town, I guess, where he's just been chilling for the past like 50 years.
yeah,
Yeah,
just chills upstairs.
he just chills. That's it. Lame.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Okay, I'm just getting depressed thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this up with final ratings. Blake, final thoughts, final ratings.
Final thoughts.
Or you want to just go final ratings?
I'll give a final thought. Man, bargain bin. Surprised it's not shit bucket, but I don't know. It's an hour and 20 minutes, so it wasn't that bad of a commitment for me.
Honestly, yeah, I do appreciate the fact that it was under an hour and a half. I as I saw it on Netflix, I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, this isn't gonna be like it is like 2.5 hours long.
If it was 2.5 hours, I would have like said we're not doing it.
But no, overall, super disappointing. I saw like some of the screenshots beforehand. I was like, oh, it looks like visually it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, and there were some visual elements that were interesting, but just seeing Leatherface standing bathed in a neon blue light, it felt so wrong.
It's kind of hilarious.
Again,
though.
sorry, really quick, I just had to talk about the music. The music in the original one is like this weird industrial, like creepy sound effect that like mixes the sound of like old school, like, you know, camera Polaroids or whatever, or like the sound of like those flashlights with like screeching grinding of like metal and machinery. It's like off-putting and like this weird fucking like unsettling mix. In this one, they have kind of a more standard score, and they have like a synthy score at the end, and it's just like, what the.
Yeah,
And it's weird because the composer is Colin Stetson in Hereditary, and he did fantastic in Hereditary.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what happened here, man.
I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah,
No, I don't blame him.
I really feel like I put all 100% of the blame on Fetty.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, here, this is what we're looking for, and he's like, okay, just did it. So yeah,
I mean, I already knew there was troubles, and I was like, this is my final thoughts. Is like, I already knew there was troubles when. At first I was excited and, you know, what's it called? The idea of it. And I'm like, okay, you know, maybe, you know, bring that modern juice into this, right?
Yeah.
But not like modern in how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard that they fired the original directors for creative differences because they had a vision, like I think like a week into filming, and they hired this, they hired just like a random person. I mean, obviously I think he was like a 80 or whatever, the other stuff, and he had like commercial work, but he has like no major feature film credits at all. And they hired him as like a director for hire. He did it, and you could tell.
Yeah, I feel bad because it's like, who knows? Maybe he does have like some kind of vision or something.
Maybe he did the good, like the better done scenes, like the van scene. Who knows? Maybe this will be a good stepping stone for him to make a good movie.
Yeah, I don't even blame him. I don't blame the director.
He's got a cool name.
Yeah.
David Blue Garcia.
This makes me like, no more Don't Breathe 2, 3. And don't touch any horror stuff. Eddie, just retire. You got your money. That's cool.
Or just become a DP or something, man.
Yeah.
So
Fetty can make a good movie.
Oh yeah. So my rating, it's a shit bucket. So you?
Honestly, yeah, shit bucket. It's like they're just, yeah. I've never imagined revisiting this film. It was just like really bad.
I would avoid it too if it was in the bargain bin. I was like, no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want
to. I would never own it.
Yeah, I would never want to own it. I would never want to watch it again.
Yeah, my numerical rating is like 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for another episode of Half a Clue movie review. What do you guys think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? We all know it sucks. So please comment below and talk about how much it sucks. And you know,
if you like it, who knows?
And if you like it, you're fooling yourselves. So thank you guys.
Let us know what you think. Bye.
Bye.